Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the Takara MP-60 Ginrai. Just Ginrai. He's not the Super Ginrai. He does not come with the trailer, and he is a lower price point because of that. This is more of the toy version. You can see the colorations matching the toy version more than the main one is more of a cartoon or animated version. But I did get this at Shows Z Store. I'm going to link down below where you can get yours. Remember, if you put the TH in the Support Your Reviewer box, it helps the channel out, which is part of the reason I was able to pick this one up in addition to the other one, so that I can showcase some of the differences to you guys. But I want to say this, that in this video, it's not going to be a rehash of the last video. It's going to be more talking about some of the comparisons and differences in this one, but also the MPG line as it goes forward and the direction of it and some of the things, some of the cues that we get from this. We'll talk about this and more coming up. All right, here's the packaging. The box, significantly smaller than the full set, that's for sure. Just got the one figure in it. There's back kind of showing what all it can do, can be done. Yeah, there it is. Nothing really all that special. All right, here he is right out of the packaging and looks a lot like I remember. There are probably some subtle differences we'll see here in just a little bit from the first one. But I do want to say, for whatever reason, I feel like there's a lot of die cast in it that I just don't remember feeling in the first one. But I'm pretty sure it did have all the same die cast. A lot of the cold methods. Maybe it's just a colder day today. But vac metal, chromed right there. No chrome on the wheels. Chrome on the front here. That does go in. A lot of this stuff looks very, very similar in paint apps to the first one. So really not a whole lot. Does roll. Not a lot to say about the cab itself. But overall it is a pretty nice looking cab. I'm just going to kind of compare it to the cab that's in here. And really the main difference is the paint app that's yellow there. It's not present here for whatever reason. So this being the cartoon, this being the toy, not really that big of a difference. And they're almost identical. The reds are slightly different. This is a little darker red. That's a little brighter red. And all in all, I kind of like this coloration a little bit better. But it's still not that noticeably different. So even with them side by side, it's hard to even tell the difference in the red. And so not much. Maybe the silver is slightly different. Now I do want to get into with this other one over here. I wouldn't want to be popping this in and out a lot because this is so heavily painted. There's so much paint, like you can see it glistening. There's paint all over this thing. And this is a tight fit, so getting it in and out, because I was originally just going to pop this in there to see how it looked in there, but it wouldn't look much different. Just be missing the paint apps on the yellow. But I have to say that it's not really worth the massive excessive paint rub if you just keep doing it over and over and over. It doesn't make sense to me, especially since this is the only real mode I want this guy in, and then of course I'm going to have him in bot mode when the time comes. Now for the Powermaster figure, and it is supposed to be based off the toy. Here's the thing, I just have the US version of this, so I'm not even going to compare it to the vintage because, see, this one is vac metalized. And so that's the real big difference, is the vac metal. Plus, the coloration is way different. So my US version has got the brighter colors on it than this. And so this has like burgundy red instead of a bright red. I guess that's accurate for like the Japanese release or something, but for the US Powermaster, which I know this isn't technically the US Powermaster anything, but yeah, let's see if we can get this guy to stand on his own, because there he is. He's standing on his own. Let's get down here and have a look at him. But he does look different than the one that came with the full set. And here's a nice little comparison to the one that came with the Super Ginrai. And there it is. Biggest difference being the red. I think the lower legs, get a little more light on them, are both the same. So it's the thighs and the arms. Looks like the torso is the same white, but the other one had more paint apps. The toy less paint apps. And then the vac metalized chrome is really the only place that it makes a difference on this. Overall, it's almost like you can unscrew this, and I might do that. I might pop this piece off, swap them out, and have the back metallized chrome over here. Ooh, that might be a good idea, because really the only upgrade I see is the back metal chrome for the engine. These things are so small, I feel like all you can see are my hands, but the only real improvement, I think, is the vac metal engine. I just particularly don't like the darker color of the arms and thighs, which I believe to be accurate to the one that was released in Japan, but I kind of got used to looking at this coloration, and that's what I like a little more, but it would be fun. You could probably mix and match this if you want to. I don't know. I'm considering it. I haven't done it yet. Here it is in the engine form, but you can see how it looks as an engine, and you look, all you see are my hands, and we're going to push this into here, and how well does it stay in? See, I feel like this stays in way better than the vintage one. But then again, all my vintage ones have been used and abused and worn out over 40 years. So this should work. It should hold in just fine for a brand new one, right? All right, so here he is in his bot mode. And what I want to say is that he does look pretty good. I think this version does look better than the first version. I like the toy coloration better than what the toon coloration when it comes to this character. Because I really never saw this character in a cartoon. And only had the toy. But it does look pretty good overall. I think that they did a decent job with it. And we'll do some comparisons when it comes up. The full-on cab on the back is, well, it's right for the character. It's just a little, still feels a little odd. I do love the paint. And although we saw the paint in the cab mode, the bot mode, it really does kind of shine a little bit better. Plus these thighs, I like the way that looks. And I do like the tampograph, if that's exactly what that is, for the Autobot symbol. I like there's a little bit of coloration right there. The lower, like the knees, it's a little bit more interesting looking, especially with some stuff going on right here. So not too bad overall. But let's get into articulation accessories, and then the important part really is comparisons. All right, head side to side, up a lot, like Silverhawk should be. And then these seem to be static, not really moving that much. The shoulders, they go way up and out, and then 360. Nice ratchet. Nice ratchet. And then you got the butterfly so that he can wield a sword that doesn't come with him. So that is a thing. Then waist swivel. And you have to kind of lift this up to get the full waist swivel because, you know, the whole cab is on his back. And then he does have quite a bit of... It's like they're trying to copy Magic Square on the ab crunch ability, which is fine. And getting down here with the hip flaps ratcheted to the side, but not all the way. Well, yeah, front and back, and it's got a drop down. So a lot of stuff. It feels like I think I just reviewed the other one last week, and I forgot it has a drop down. All right, but you do kind of have to get it repositioned once you've done all of that. Thigh swivel, which is nice. A double jointed knee, which I think this one moves a little freer, more freely. Double jointed knee for all that you're gonna need. So you get that like jumping. Oh, get this down. So you get that jumping kind of knee in the air pose going on, and then foot side to side, up and down, toe movement. What you need, everything you would need. So it's pretty decent articulation for the most part. And I'm just going to say this, we just covered articulation, but the more articulation that a figure has, the more fiddle factor there's going to be. It just felt like got to put so many more joints back into place to get them where you want them. Decent articulation on this guy, but the cost is, as with most of them, if you're going to give a Transformer that much articulation, then it's going to have some fiddle factor to it. But not a big deal, just something I like to point out and talk about. Transitioning into accessories. So aside from the little engine that could go on his back if you want to, this is just two of the same thing. Two guns, two of these. Whenever they KO these blast effects, they usually make them light up, which I think is kind of cool. But I haven't noticed anything with the MPG name on it getting KO'd. And I think that's going to be a new era. We're going to see exactly how much channel power Takara has. If we haven't seen one MPG item get knocked off, we might not ever see an MPG item get knocked off. I think it's the guns, the blast effects, it gets the job done. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to display it with the blast effects or not. I'm leaning towards probably no, just because it takes up a lot of space. It does look good, though. Should do a highlight reel of bloopers talking about how I just didn't have this in scale. It didn't match on the screen. Okay, so this is probably how mine's going to get displayed. It's pretty simple. I'm going to have the little guy here next to the big guy, or probably something along this number here in the display. And just found out in the news there's a 3D print where you could get like a chunk, more or less the cab only, and display it like that if you want to. But that's still, I think it's like $30 or something like that for just the cab if you want to do that. But this is official, and this is actually painted, and you're going to notice it's a little different in the premium paint. Now, I think that's going to make for a fun little display, but that's how they look side by side. And I'm going to segment this into talking about a few different comparisons, the best way I can do it. All right, so the first comparison is going to be next to Magic Super Optimus Prime. Magic Super Optimus Prime is the standard scale, and so I'm going to overlay over that the KFC. Now, KFC one, I think, is about the size of this Prime, and I do want to say that I probably should have picked that one up too to check it out, but it's sold out at Show Z. But I want to notice a few things about it. First off, in the waist piece on the KFC, the joint is on the outside, which kind of looks ugly, in my opinion. I do like the longer grill on the KFC versus this one. But overall, aesthetically, I still like the way this looks better, but I kind of would have liked the size of the KFC better. So there's give and take with both options that are out there, picking and choosing. And these days, I'm trying not to buy too many of the same thing. I know I'm buying two of the same thing here, but at this day and age, I'm not trying to get two of everything. But yeah, I'm kind of happy with this guy, even though he's a little shorter. And now, because I don't want to do a massive amount of paint wear on my other figure, this is just a picture from my other review, so go check that one out if you want to see more of just like the transforming and the little details of the full set. But this is another case where I like this one better. I do like the way this one looks better. I like the coloration of it. One thing I didn't even notice at first, and when you look at pictures online, I guess unless you look at them side by side, then you don't notice all this stuff. But like the silver in here, I like that a lot better. I like the silver that's in there a lot better. Just the coloration of this a lot better. I do like the little bit brighter reds of the first one. This is a little darker, slightly more muted, but again, side by side, you can barely tell. And if you didn't have side by side, there'd be no telling. So overall, though, I like the other additional paint apps with the forearms and the knees. Although I think there's a little bit more on the first one on the hips, but still overall, I do prefer this one in the bot mode a lot more because it just looks more visually interesting. Lastly, I do want to talk about the MPG, I guess, is it 17? That was actually up for pre-order at Show Z store right now. People are saying it's 7.5 inches. I guess I need to go check Show Z and see if those details are up yet. But so if it's really 7.5 inches, I'm assuming the new MPG, which people are touting as the Masterpiece version 4.0, it can't be a 4.0 because it's not a Masterpiece if it's the same size as this. So this one is about 7.5 inches, which maybe that's just where the rumor got started on that one. But side by side, they're going for something different. And this is obviously a Ginrai figure, and obviously the MPG 17 is more of a G1-esque-ish kind of Generations Evolutions figure, is the way it seems to be working out. There's another sub-line name to it, but with that, it's just kind of fun to kind of see side by side. But now MPG starting to make more sense. It's like MP minus, Chug plus. So I hope you enjoyed this look at the MP-60 just Ginrai, not Super Ginrai, Optimus Prime. And I think he's a good looking figure. I think that he is pretty much exactly what you expect if you already had the first one. Just a different coloration, different paint. It is more of the toy version, and with that, I'm pretty happy with the guy. I really was kind of hoping that these would be Masterpiece scale, but at the end of the day, the combined mode is fine for me, and it's really all I want. I don't know if I'd want one much bigger than that, but as for this size bot, looks good, feels great. It's going to work well in my display, but if you need this cab figure to be the size of a standard Masterpiece, you're going to probably have to go with KFC. I really can't speak to the quality or how that one worked out, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I did get this at Shozy Store. I'm going to have a link down below where you can get yours. And like and subscribe. Tell your hanger out.